I was just thinking about the different demographics and different populations in Hyde Park. And Alice was mentioning this project serving the needs of some of the older members of our community. And we're hearing a lot from the students now at the University of Chicago. And we have children involved in our project, and we try to cross racial boundaries and age boundaries and bridge these gaps. And one of them is the relationship with the Asian population in Hyde Park. And I feel like they're kind of isolated and
invisible.
Yes, they're kind of an invisible population. They come often to take care of the kids of their daughters and sons, and they get to know each other, and they don't speak any English, and most of us don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese, and so I would see them in the parks, and I loved to watch them interact with the kids. And I had my kids, and it was a way for me to have community, even though we didn't have language in common. And so I started to bring in small cards with words on it, and I asked them to provide the Mandarin for this English, and then we started to learn a little together. So we would get together in the morning, and we would say hello, good morning, and I taught them a little bit of English so that we could have just a little bit of dialogue when we met each other. And they tried to teach me Mandarin, but it was impossible. It's just impossible. I couldn't remember anything, not even hello. So that was a problem. And they did fairly well. I think they got the numbers and the days of the week and hellos and goodbyes and thank you and how old and what's your name. And I have a background of being an English teacher, of course, so that was part of the prompt. But it was also a way for me to converse with them. And I noticed that they did this beautiful dance every morning. And I was just really amazed by that kind of physical, everyday care for the body that they had and the health and vitality of their bodies. Yeah. And so these were years when my kids were growing up that I noticed these people. And at a certain point, I was walking down the street. My kids were kind of grown up, and I saw this big group, good 25 people. They were doing their exercises, but I no longer was the mom of the babies. I had a 10-year-old, but then I stopped and I said hello to the woman, and there was only one woman that had a tiny bit of English, and I said, "What do you all do when it's cold and snowing and raining? What do you do?" And they said, "No class." And I said, "Not anymore," because we have a mansion in Hyde Park around the corner from you. And we're inviting you to come here and do your dance every morning. And so for 3 or 4 months, they came in every morning from 9 to 11, and they did their Chinese dance exercises. And they had a Tai Chi master who was here, and he taught to give back to the community. He taught free Tai Chi classes on Saturday mornings. And we became friends, so much to the point where we actually hug each other on the streets. We learned about each other without language. We learned about who we were. At the end of their stay, they wanted to thank us, so they threw a big, huge buffet, all Chinese food, beautiful, everything from chicken feet to rolls and wraps of delicious things and dumplings, and just an unbelievable feast. And then they had a performance, and this was what was very beautiful to me. They had a performance all set up. Each one of them, 25 people at least, each one of them did something, told a story, sang a song, did a dance together. And it wasn't that they could all sing or tell stories or dance, but each one of them shared something of themselves. And at the end, they expected me to share something of myself. Well, I thought I was going to be an audience member, I thought you were putting on a show. I was going to listen and watch you. I didn't know I had to have a song prepared. So I went downstairs and I scribbled down the words to My Funny Valentine. And I went upstairs and I sang My Funny Valentine a cappella to this group. And they loved it. And then our afternoon was finished, and we cleaned up, hugged each other, and our kids their grandchildren and my children, they go to the same schools.
Oh.
And now we see each other, we say hello, we know each other, we have a relationship, and none of that could happen unless you bring people together in this kind of project where you're bonded by generosity, by space, by trust, by food, by activities, and by sharing skills and sharing the wealth of your own, what you have to bring to the world with your creativity.